For this lesson, our group is assigned to discuss the topic of counting an equivalent note of rhythmic pattern. First and foremost, what is rhythm? Rhythm is a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound. In regards to music, it's a systemic arrangement, principally according to duration and periodic stress. Now that we know the definition of rhythm, how is it related to dance? A good sense of rhythm is important in dance. The beat in dance music is usually produced by the bass drum. It's very important that steps are taken on the correct beat. To help develop your timing, try tapping your foot to the beat of a drum. In order to read, identify, and transcribe rhythms, you need to be familiar with rhythm notations and rhythm patterns. This mainly involves indicating when a note happens and how. Rhythm occurs within the framework of a meter, which is simply a repetitive pattern of strong and weak beats. As you can see, here are some examples of meter. The meter of a song is indicated by its time signature, which consists of two numbers stacked one on top of each other. The top number represents the number of beats per measure, while the bottom number represents the note value for each beat. Going back to rhythms, they are notated using notes and rests.
Good morning. My name is Maria Arminda A. Cruz, and my topic is all about rhythmic pattern. Together, let's study what is the real meaning of rhythmic pattern. According to our research, rhythmic pattern is anything has some kind of pulse that can be repeated in a long time or in a very short time. So, this is anything, kahit ano, basta merong beat and flow na paulit-ulit. For example, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Just like your heartbeat. Dug-dug, 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 dug-dug. It has a beat and it is repeated. Next, rhythmic pattern is represented by different kinds of notes and rest. Let us look what are the different kinds of notes and rests. These are the different kinds of notes and rest. And as we look at the image, we can see that whole note have 4 beats of sounds, whole rest have 4 beats of silence, half note have 2 beats of sounds, half rest have 2 beats of silence, quarter note have 1 beat of sounds, quarter rest have 1 beat of silence, 8th note have half beat of sounds, 8th rest have half beat of silence, 16th note have 1/4 beat of sounds, 16 rest have 1/4 beat of silence. So, if these notes and rest combined, rhythmic pattern will be created. Last, rhythmic pattern are patterns of sounds by clapping or tapping the beat. Move on to counting rhythmic pattern. So, it is a vital skills on being able to keep time, on being able to count rhythmic pattern. As we count the rhythmic pattern, our timing should be on time. Sabi ko nga kanina, notes and rest have its corresponding beats. If our countings are not correct, may iba yung flow ng pattern natin. Let's try this one as an example. First, the color red is what we call bar line, which is a vertical line that divides one bar from another. While the color blue represents measure. Measure is the section of musical stop that comes between two bar lines. Last, the color orange is time signature, which means we have 4 beats, never measure. So let's count. In our first measure, we have 4 quarter notes, and we know that quarter notes have 1 beat. So this is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 in total of 4, as well as in our second measure. We have 3 quarter notes and 1 quarter rest. This is 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 is equal to 4. So these two measures repeated until the end of the song because they have pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4.
Crotchets or quartet. How do we draw a quartet? First, draw a note head, and a stem. And there you go, you have an 8. A single 8 note is equivalent to 1 beat. And this is straightforward enough. Each beat is counted in turn 1, 2, 3, 4. Easy as that. Let's go to quiver or 8 note. How do we draw an 8 note? It looks like a regular note made of a head, a stem, but it also got this extra little thing. We call this tail. A single 8 note is equivalent to 1/2 of beat. Whenever the quivers meet, they like to give each other a big hug. The tails are joined together and form a beam. This musical hugging is called grouping. We usually group quivers in a complete beat. A half beat plus a half beat is equivalent to 1 whole beat. The first quiver of each group will be counted as a number. And the last quiver by saying the word end, like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Remember that quavers split the beat into half, so 2 quavers should be separated evenly within 1 beat. No speeding up or slowing down. Proceed to semiquaver or 16th note. Semiquaver have 2 tails. Whenever the semiquavers meet, they like to give each other a big hug. All of the tails are joining together and form a beam. We usually group semiquavers in a complete beat. 2 semiquavers is equivalent to 1/2 of a beat, and 4 semiquavers is equivalent to 1 whole beat. For example, I have beats here. 1 whole pizza is equivalent to 1 whole beat. The half of pizza is equivalent to 1/2 of beat. And the 1/4 of pizza is equivalent to 1/4 of beat. 1 whole beat can be written as a crotchet, or 2 quavers, or 4 semiquavers. 1/2 of beat can be written as a single quiver, or 2 semiquavers. And the 1/4 beat will be a semi-quaver. How are we supposed to count a 1/4 of a beat? But don't worry because it is very easy. The first semiquiver of each group will be counted as a number, and the remaining semiquavers will be counted by saying E, the word and a. So depends on the number. It can be 1 E and a, 2 E and a, and so on. Now this is the challenge. How are we supposed to count a combination of quarter note, 8th note, and 16th note? But don't worry again because it's super easy. I have an example here, which the time signatures here is in 4/4 time, which means there are 4 main beats in each bar. Okay, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, E and A, 3, E and A, 4, and 1 E and A, 2 and 3, 4. And that's all about quarter note, 8th note, and 16th note.
The next topic is 4/4 minims or half note. 4/4 minims or half note is a note played for the half of duration of a whole note and twice the duration of a quarter note. The dancer counts are based on the feelings of the pulse. If a piece of music has a lot of notes, then you feel a pulse in it, and that strong pulse is your dance count. Let's look at an example. A waltz, a standard 3/4. You, as a ballet teacher, you would hear 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, 1 2 3, etc.